You all right? I hope you brought your singing voices with you. Now, before you go any further though, anyone need a map? Yeah, only $10, okay. I'm kidding, it's 20. Welcome to Manchester, everyone. Welcome to Manny. There you go. And for you, and for you. Hello, I'd normally ask where you're all from, like I have downstairs. Any more? No? Okay. I'll just point out you're on the blue route, which is our City and Beatles tour, not the red route, which is our hop on, hop off tour. Our hop on, hop off tour. We'll drop you off in about an hour and a half from this tour. And then, if you've time, I urge you to jump on the hop on, hop off, which is behind you. Leaves at 10 to 20 past the hour. There's also some money off coupons on your map I'd like to draw your attention to, especially the 20%, 25% off visitors to the Liverpool Beatles Museum at 23 Matthew Street. I highly recommend, run by Pete Best and his son Rogue. Also, if you show your ticket from this bus tour on the Philharmonic pub, which I think is the best pub in the city, you get a free drink. I'm not saying it's a good drink, I'm saying it's a free drink, okay? Alright, just in case you get any complaints later. So, can I just compliment you on choosing today to do your tour? I have not seen a touring day like this in a long, long time. Okay, so, people on the top deck, after Craig, shout out where you're from. 1, 2, 3. Wow, the people from Australia deserve a little round of applause there for coming the furthest. Although, the New Zealanders might beat you. Hey, New Zealanders downstairs, there we go, okay. So listen, Liverpool, before we start, yeah? Liverpool is known as the singing city, okay? It's no coincidence that the greatest band in the world came from here. So, are you ready to sing? Yes. Yeah, excellent, then that's the test. Dave, when you're ready, my friend, you can hit it, man. Ready, everyone? I'm gonna be sad. I think it's a day. The girl that's driving me mad is going away. She's got a ticket to ride. She's got a ticket to ride. She's got a ticket to ride. She don't care. She doesn't, you know. Okay. She said that blinking to me was bringing her down. Yeah. She would never be free. But I was around. She's got a ticket to ride. She's got a ticket to ride. She's got a ticket to ride, but she don't care. You just left the Albert Dock on your left-hand side, the largest collection of Grade 1 listed buildings anywhere in the country. Opened in 1846 by Prince Albert himself, Queen Victoria's main suite. On your left-hand side, you've got the former Merseyside Police Headquarters. Remember, gang, when you're in Liverpool, busies. What do we call them? There you go, you're halfway to being Scouts right there. Now, would you like a quick learn yourself Scouts lesson? Yeah, okay, repeat after me, everyone. Nicht. We checken. Now put them all together. Now, not bad, but a bit more phlegm. Okay? A bit more phlegm. Alright, let's carry on with this. Where are we? No, I won't. Okay, so, beautiful guys, beautiful singing. Now, can I just say, if you raise your hands, please, and tell me who's in the city for the first time. Excellent, a special welcome to you first timers. What kept you so long? Yeah? We've only been here 817 years. Liverpool was born in 1207, where King John was the basis of Ireland from. Now, ahead of us there is £1 billion retail development known as Liverpool One. As you know, we take our football very seriously here in Liverpool. In the heart of Liverpool One, Everton opened a flagship store and they called it Everton 2. Yeah, so if you buy it from that shop, on the badge it says Everton 2, the Liverpool One. I know, and gentlemen, we must just say, are the original team in this club, so in this city, formed in 1878. They used to play at Anfield and have a blue glider bird on their crest. If you'd like to see the development of their brand new stadium, I urge you to get a ferry across the Mersey, because it's the best place to see it is from the river. It promises to be awesome. If you're a blue, have a word with our driver Dave, where we stop off at Penny Lane. First time visitors, we have two things from the left for you. It's easy said than done, but it's this. Open up your hearts. Do that for you. Because Liverpool's one of the kindest places we've ever visited. But we need you to meet us halfway. So, for example, if you're waiting for our journey through the city, wave back. Remember, folks, this isn't London. We value humanity. Apologies if anyone on board is from London, by the way. I actually really like London. I was with a girl for these Phillips for 5 years. Now let's talk about Liverpool though. So Liverpool was really small and insignificant. So much so it wasn't even in the Doomsday Book. Unlike say Tottenham, where I'm from, which was. That all changed in the year 1715. Because what happened then literally revolutionised the world. That's when Thomas Steers invented the world's first enclosed wet dock. Doesn't sound like much, but it meant for the first time in human history, people could load and unload ships without waiting for the tide to turn. That fact made Liverpool the preeminent port in the entire British Empire. Now, as we arrive at Lime Street, can I ask a question? Are there any Beatles fans on board? Oh, really? You think so, do you? Well, let's put that to the test, shall we? Can any of you tell me, all you super fans, the name of the Beatles song that mentions Lime Street? Oh, beautiful, man. You're my man, lad. Okay, and your reward for knowing a kid is to sing it with me, yeah? Are you fit? Are you ready, lad?
You're alright, mate.
Goes like this. Join in if you know the words. Oh, dirty Maggie May, they have taken her away, and she'll never walk down Lime Street anymore. Oh, the judgy guilty found her, but robbing the homeward bound her. That dirty, no good Robin Maggie May. That's a round of applause for my man there, by the way. Now, Maggie May was a lady of the night in Victorian Liverpool who used to sell jewellery to sailors, get them really drunk, and then steal the jewellery back. But she went too far one time when she left a fella completely naked on the steps of Lime Street Station, and for that, she was arrested, tried, and deported to Australia, where someone wrote a song about her. Now, on the tour last month, I told that story, and an Australian gentleman put up his hand and he says, "Yeah, mate, but to me, she'll always be great-great-great-great-grandma." Gotta love the Aussies, man, you know. Now, speaking of naked men, would you like to meet a big one? You've got to introduce somebody you want to or not. He's on your right-hand side, look up high, and say hello to Dickie Lewis. Now, this statue had to be moved back 3 foot from its original position because you know what it means? Something to do with the angle of the dangle, I'm meant to believe. By the way, the Adelphi Hotel on your left-hand side, yeah, was once England's front door. I think it struggled to be known as England's back door today, to be honest. But famous people to have stayed there in history include Eleanor Roosevelt, London Hardy, Charles Dickens, Roy Rogers, and Trigger. And for younger members on board, Trigger was a horse, but did he stay in the private suite? The answer is surely nay! These are the jokes, folks. Now listen, my tour is all about giving you a little bit of a hint about what makes the character and culture of this city thrive. Singing a song in a moment. On your right hand side, that black door with number 64 on it was the registry office where John married Cynthia. Will you still need me? Will you still need me? No. out, you got divorced, didn't he? So we've had to be able to clear that up after all these years. The answer's no. Now, Liverpool, let's talk about the, well, first of all, we've got more Georgian properties than any other city outside London, okay? And this street ahead of you on the right-hand side is Rodney Street. Just 2 people from this street who were famous and who changed the world. Brian Epstein was born in number 4. It was one of the privileges of my life to be the project manager on Brian's statue, which is sculpted by Andy Edwards, the greatest figurative sculptor in the country, and my brother from another mother. But yeah, if you want to see that statue, that's at the junction. A song in Liverpool which mentions these cathedrals you're about to see, and that statue, and it goes like this. In my Liverpool home, in my Liverpool home, we speak with an accent exceedingly rare, meet under a statue exceedingly bare, and if you want a cathedral, we've got one to spare. In my Liverpool home. Now, this particular one was built in 1967 as a cathedral for our times. It boasts more individual pieces of stained glass than any other building in the UK. The colour and the light inside that building are magnificent. I also find it deeply poetic that here in Liverpool you have a Catholic cathedral designed by a Protestant. Protestant cathedral designed by a Catholic, both linked by a street called Hope. Come on. You see what we did there? Now, if you don't know any of my nonsense, guys, remember this. The bus stop on your left-hand side is stop number 10 on our hop-on, hop-off tour. And your ticket on this bus gets you a free drink in the best pub in town, which is ahead of us on the right-hand side, on the corner. It's the Philharmonic Dining Rooms, known locally as the Phil. Now, when John Lennon was asked at the height of his fame, what's the worst thing about being famous, John? He replied, I can't go to Phil for a pint. Yeah, so do what the man couldn't do in his pop. It's also where Paul did the secret gig in carpool karaoke, when the woman put the money in the jukebox, and the curtains part, and then there's Macca launching to get back. And if I haven't sealed the deal for you enough, it also boasts the only grade 1 listed toilets anywhere in the UK. But girls, it is the gents, so be dead careful, yeah? Things have a habit of escalating pretty quickly here in Liverpool. I've seen it before. You go in for a baby sham, yeah? You come out, settle down with 2 kids. I'm just saying, watch these Scouse boys, we can be bold. Now, as you know, the Titanic had a Liverpool connection, yeah, being registered here. This was where the musicians came from. They carried on playing on board and the ship sank. The song they played, Need It, Thank God. On the left-hand side, this is often doubles for the Victorian London. We call it the Oxford Riviera. Ahead of me now on the right-hand side, that's the Tudor Bar where John met Cynthia and Stuart Sutcliffe, the lost people next door to George and Paul's secondary school, the Liverpool Institute, now known as Liverpool Secondary School. Keep your eyes peeled on the right, guys, we're about to see an absolute masterpiece of building. So, this humble little chapel on the hill was designed by a 22-year-old genius called Giles Gilbert Scott. He never lived to see it completed though, because construction began in 1904 and it took 74 years to build. Can you believe that? Giles Gilbert Scott incidentally also designed the iconic Battersea Power Station in London, as well as the truly iconic British red telephone box. And there's a red telephone box inside this cathedral in honour of that fact, and not so you can call God. But if you do want to call God from that cathedral, make sure you reverse the charges, because that's going to be one expensive phone call. The views from the top are amazing, by the way. It's 500 foot above sea level. You can see all the way to Iceland. Here at the moment, I've got a 2-for-1 deal on it. The fish fingers. Boom, boom. The garden, by the way, the cemetery at the bottom is absolutely amazing, and you can help yourself to a drink from the last natural spring left in the city called Bridie's Well. William Huskisson, that's his big mausoleum down there, and after whom this street on your left is named, Huskisson Street. Anyone heard of William Huskisson? No? Well, that's why you're on my tour, I suppose, so I can tell you. William Huskisson was an MP for Liverpool. Watch out for the trees, by the way. Oh, nearly got them, Dave. William Huskisson was an MP for Liverpool who voted to extend slavery by 4 years. In 1982, after the Toxteth uprisings, Liverpool people pulled down the statue of William Huskisson. This is decades before Bristol tore down their statue of, what was his name? Colston statue. William Huskisson also became the world's first railway fatality when he was knocked down by Stephenson's rocket. He shot his leg off and he died of situation. First black group to hit #1, the real thing. Most multicultural part of the city. Check out the mural to Nelson Mandela ahead of us on the right. Education is the most powerful weapon you can use to change the world. And if you look straight ahead of you, that empty plinth. This sadly neglected building on your left is the world's first school for the deaf. That's it! The sadly neglected building on the left. More civic-minded things. That was once known as Liverpool's third cathedral. That was once the tallest building in the city. As you can see when you look all around it, everyone, yeah, this is no riot-torn urban hellhole. This is actually one of the most beautiful parts of the city. It's also home to the oldest Chinese community in Europe and the oldest African community in Europe. On your left-hand side, bursting out the walls of the church is the Black Jesus statue by Arthur Dooley. Now this statue, yeah, my love, watch where I'm pointing. Yeah, it was the first Black Christ statue in the UK. There's Black Christs all over the planet and Black Madonnas, but that was the first for the UK. Now, are there any fans of Peaky Blinders on board? Excellent, man, me too. It was partially filmed right here in Toxteth. Look on your right-hand side, you look down this street. The left-hand side streets are known as the Welsh Streets, and these 10 streets were left derelict for a decade in a failed housing regeneration scheme, and during that time, they were painted dark brown and double as small heath. That's Peaky Blinders territory, everyone. If you look opposite as well, you'll see a mural to our most famous son with the blue meanie. He was born on the 7th of July 1940 in number 9 Madron Street in the heart of the Welsh Streets. He was the oldest member of the Beatles and his name was Ringo Starr, of course. No, last week I'm on the bus and I said, and his name was, and a guy sat where you're sat, said in all seriousness, he went, was it Bob Marley? Truly, some people just live in a world of their own, don't they? Whatever you're smoking about. It is, of course, Ringo Starr, Richie Starkey to his mates. Now, Richie was always a sickly child. He almost died twice in childhood. By the way, the public park, we'll probably go on about Ringo. The public park you see in front of you now is the first of its kind in the country. It was laid out by Sir Joseph Paxton, who designed the iconic Crystal Palace in London, and it was opened to the public in 1842. Now Ringo, as I say, he was a sickly child, so he was hardly ever in school. But luckily when he was sick one time, a neighbour bought him a tin drum. Luckily for him, as when he left school, with no qualifications, there was a skiffle boom on, led by Mr. Lonnie Donegan. There's hit record, there's a chewing gum losing flavour. Back here on the bedpost overnight. He joined Rory Storm and the Hurricanes, one of the great lost bands of the city, before joining the Beatles, and the rest, as they say, is history. Now, the Scousers in Liverpool, by the way, we're called, anyone know why we're called Scousers as well? Do you want to know? Okay, so Scousers, that's what the people from Liverpool are called, Scousers. They're named after, in the 19th century, Norwegian sailors, they were on a mission and called Black Scouts. So you walk a slow cooker on the hillside to get the ship. They were so starving, there's nothing they had to go over the night. So the Norwegians told the doctors who were Scousers, and then it applied to the rest of us. We're the only people in the world named after a stew. So no. Oh yeah, so it's not very well liked by the Scots anymore. We have a lot of people here. The reason for that is during 1 year as European Capital of Culture in 2008. Ringo's on the Jonathan Ross show on television, and Jonathan asks, "What's it most about Liverpool?" To which Ringo replies, "Nothing." Now, hardly diplomatic, I know, but what I say to my fellow Scousers is this: we've only got 2 Beatles left. 3 if you count Pete, and we should count Pete. Love them and cherish them while they're here, yeah? Because when they're gone forever. And at the end of the day, when all is said and done, Ringo will always be the voice of Thomas the Tank Engine. So let's have a sing for Ring, yeah? Well, he's this side of the veil. And all you non-singers, yeah? Don't sweat it, because what happens in Liverpool gets filmed and put on YouTube. I think you'll find.
I was born, lived a man who sailed to sea, and he told us of his life in the land of submarines. So we sailed on to the sun, till we found the sea of dreams, and we lived beneath the waves in our yellow submarine.
Everybody now.
We all live in a yellow submarine, a yellow submarine, a yellow submarine. We all live in a yellow submarine, yellow submarine, yellow submarine. And our friends are all and the band begins to play.
Oh, some quality ducking going on in the back row there. Beautiful 9.5. Oh, it's a big one.
Yellow submarine. We all live in a yellow submarine.
A yellow submarine, a tub of margarine. Beautiful, man. Give yourselves a round of applause. Go ahead. It's true, you know, everyone. The Beatles were so high, they even let Ringo sing a couple of tunes. And I've never been that big. Okay. Now, you just passed Sefton Park, yeah? Which is like the Hyde Park of Liverpool. It's amazing. There's several Beatles connections with the park. The first one of which is that Ringo said he lost something there. You can only lose once. Past the mind bleach, and let's move on. George Harrison once donated £1.5 million to help save the derelict Palm House in the park. When asked why he did it, he said when he was a boy, him and his friends would come down there with stones and try to smash the painted glass. So he felt like it was the least he could do. So you see, our George wasn't the Messiah, he's just a very naughty boy. But my favourite story, I think, has got to be that John's mum and dad met there. The story went that Julia Stanley, that bold and beautiful woman, approached Freddie Lennon, that ne'er-do-well, and said to him, "That's a silly hat you're wearing." He said, "If you throw it away, will you go out with me?" He says, "Yeah." So he takes the hat off and he threw it in the lake. She liked the style and went on a date with him. And 9 months later, on the 9th of October 1940, Mr. John Winston Lennon came into the world, everyone. And I find it hilarious that if Freddie Lennon hadn't have thrown his hat away that day, none of this would have happened. And if you were here at all, you'd be on the Jerry Marsden tour. Not mad, eh? Now we've got to have our first stop off, everyone, and photo opportunity in a little known place called Penny. Now Penny Lane, you can get in your ears and in your eyes, so do be careful. And also, I'd just like to point out to passengers, first of all, watch out, don't be like these people, not looking left and right. Okay, look out for the traffic. Hopefully you've got roads where you're from. You know how they work, yeah? Watch the roads, okay? Now me and Dave are more than happy to help take your pictures, folks.